My name is Adil Khan. I am from Mehran University, a final year student.
My name is Shahzad Awan and I am from Mehran University. I am also final year student.
Our research is basically designing of a system that can be employed in the hospitals and homes. We are designing a system for paralyzed patients. The system is all about the brain-computer interface. In order to understand the system, let us consider the patient who is completely ill. He has some motor disabilities. For example, he cannot move his limbs, or he has some speech impairments. Then the life of such patient is very miserable. He cannot even communicate, and he cannot show his intentions by just muscle gestures. So our system is designed in such a way that he can lead an independent life by wearing such a system, by using such a system. The system is basically about the BCI technology. BCI technology means brain-computer interface technology. In this technology, we interface brain with the computer so that whatever we are thinking, this intention can be done and controlled by the application of computer. For example, what I am thinking right now, this can be done with the signal processing algorithm in computer, and that can be employed in signal processing theory, and we can employ some different applications of BCI. For example, if such a patient, a paralyzed patient, is just needs a food, then for some reasons, since he cannot move his limbs, so he has to be very careful because he cannot show his intention. So when he or she needs food, he can obviously his brain will generate a signal. This signal will be processed or translated in the MATLAB, the software which we used for this signal processing. This signal processing, or these signals will be translated and then pre-processed in the computer, and then accordingly whatever the gesture it will be, that activity can be performed. For example, if I am hungry, for example, I am paralyzed patient, and if I am hungry, this signal, the signal of hungry will be processed in the MATLAB. The MATLAB will extract the features of hungry because the waveform of brain is very complex. So this algorithm will totally extract that information which is related to the hungry gesture. Okay, this will extract that information, and after extracting that, this system will process this application, and correspondingly a robotic arm will move to the patient and will feed him to remove his hunger. Then similarly, if a person wants to speak about anything, okay, we can employ the hand gestures, or for example robotic arms we can employ, and for speaking we can employ speech synthesizers, so that whatever he is thinking he can speak by artificial speech synthesizers, which means a complete system or complete automated room can be designed for such a system. So right now this project can be done in two ways, offline or real time. Right now we have done this project in offline mode. The real-time mode will obviously require some different hardware and neuro headsets which will be required for the brain signal process, so which are very costly. But up till now we have just designed the offline processing system, and that whether we can do what we want, whether we can convert the intentions of the patient so that the corresponding BCI application can be performed. As far as our research, our literature reviews are concerned, we have different literature reviews shows that this kind of product hasn't even employed in Pakistan in any hospital. Even my trip to the Jinnah Hospital and Lumps Hospital in Jamshoro, even I have talked to the doctors that do you think that you need that system, or do you have that system already employed in your hospitals? They said no, we do not have such system, but if you can design such system, then it will be very ambitious, because this system can really help those individuals that have severe disabilities, which means they cannot move their limbs, muscles, and they cannot speak. So their life is completely miserable. So this system can be independent in some cases, that they don't have to use their gestures by their limbs and muscles. The real life example of Stephen Hawking, which is using this kind of product, and he is basically controlling his external environment by his thoughts. Whatever he thinks, that activity can be performed in no time. Means, for example, he is hungry, automatically a robotic hand will come to him and will feed the food. Since the system that is employed in Stephen Hawking is very, very complex, because they are Europeans are always very, very precious about their scientists. So this system obviously is very costly. For designing such a system, we need very, very huge amount of grants. But obviously this system is just a start. Even this idea was not taken by Stephen Hawking. This was just an idea. Even we can improve that. The future applications which we will discuss by the Shahzad, very, very promising, that they can employ all these systems in one figure. Means we don't have to use two robotic hands for feeding feeding the food and taking the man to the work. Even the Stephen Hawking is using, for example, he needs toilet. See, okay, then he just think the activity is processed in the brain, and automatically his body moves to the toilet.
The main challenge that we are facing right now, that is of mainly at student level, we are not that much of a person that we can afford such things. So main challenges are of two types. One is cost, and the other is hardware limitations. So when we come to the cost limitations, cost challenges, then we have trying to do this, as explained by Adil, we are trying to do this in two ways. One is offline and one is online. The offline mode is simple because it only extracts signals, and after extracting it, after acquiring the signals, we can not online but offline we can process it. But it is of not real use to this kind of signals are of no real use to us. But for online processing, we require new headsets. We have talked in few countries like Italy, and they have offered us some newer headsets. But the cost of these newer headsets are very high. For example, one newer headset was approximately 60,000 without any shipping cost. And when we add the shipping cost, then it will touch 1 lakh. This is the price of only one component that we are trying to obtain. If we add other accessories like many other kits, signal processing kits, and many other hardware things, then it will be too much costly. One is this cost effectiveness, and cost is the one issue. The other issue is hardware limitation. Now we see that although science has very much technologized and it is very much fast, but the main issue still remains to extract the signals from the brain, because the brain signals are insulated by the skull. Though the signals, the electrical signals that are trying to escape from the brain are insulated by the skull. If we were to find a way, in this research that would find such a way to extract the signals exactly as they are, then it will be very much easy for us. Now, after challenges, we see that there are a lot of applications going on nowadays. Still with the challenges, there is a lot of potential in this world. For example, there are any example you might have seen in the TV and other places where people are trying to move their wheelchairs through their brain. The people are completely paralyzed. They are just thinking to move forward or backward or sideways, and the wheelchair is processed and integrated to their brain, and they can move whatever they think. Similarly, there is also a project going on that is of moving a mouse cursor with your head, and it is also being implemented. Now the main question that you ask, that how is our project different from them? Basically, we use the same technology as used by them, but the main difference is that of idea. That idea is limited to just moving forward or moving backward, and just limited to a computer screen presentation of what we think. But we are trying to implement upon what we see. We are not trying just to move a person. We are trying to see what they feel, because sensation is the main thing. If you can move forward, backward, it is not a big deal. But if you can see what they feel, then it would be a big thing.
Because it is used to remove the hindrances between the PC and a user. For example, if we want to use a PC, we always depend on the mouse or keyboard as an input mechanisms. in our system, the input mechanism is brain and output mechanism is computer.
In this mechanism, you see that the main hindrance is, this is only a first step. This is only a first step to feel the sensations. But when you are able to feel the sensations, because sensations are the most difficult in brain signals to understand. All the other signals are easy to understand, but sensations are the most difficult thing. So if we are successful in completely understanding the sensations, what the person senses, what he sees, what he perceives, what he hears, then we can use the senses of human brain and the processing power of a computer. The main challenge is basically of cost.
Of hardware
and software. And cost. Because the headset, the neuro headset that we are trying to buy, that we are trying to get from the foreign countries, because in all of Pakistan, there is not even a single device that can be of any use to us. And the devices still in the outside of the world, in the outside countries, are in research phases. They do not allow anyone, they are not commercialized. So the basic problem is of cost, because people are they are promising, but you know that promises. They are promising that we will try to help you, but still we have not seen anything.
So you're saying that
we have been approached by the different teachers of our department. For example, many teachers are willing to help us, but even by hack, they are trying to promise. But the promises are, you know, in Pakistan, that if you don't have pretty good source, then the promises are just promises.
We have discussed this idea with different professors, foreign professors, and in Pakistan, Dr. Adil Rahman, he is very good, and he said that yes, you can do this by sending. He has also sent us different PDF files for study purpose, because he said that if you want to do this project, then your literature surveys should be very good, because this is totally a research project. First you have to research and then make that device. Okay, so Dr. Adil Rahman and Dr. Bhavani Shankar, they are all Pakistani, and they are Dr. Bhavani is from our department and he's a chairman, and except that Madam Atiya Bakai, who's our advisor in Sirkohid. And as far as USC professors are concerned, the professor from MIT and the professor from Advanced Institute of Brain Studies, we are talking about this project, and we are discussing about, and they also said that the main hindrance in your system is just the acquisition of brain signal. Once the signals are there, then you don't have to worry. For example, once we get the device to acquire the brain signal from for the computer, there will be no issue.
As far as marketing is concerned, because we see that there are a lot of hospitals which are filled with people who are paralyzed. Because you know, in countries such as Pakistan, there is population overwhelmed, okay, and there are not even places for many people in the hospital. So if we design such a kind of system, if we are successful in designing such a kind of system, then you won't need a hospital for such kind of person. You can take him home and install a system there, and you can operate the system just from at home, and you won't acquire a bed or require a bed at any hospital. And you will go to home, and everything, and each and every patient's fulfillment will be in home. And whatever he feels, you won't be requiring a separate nurse or doctor for that person.
We are talking for different hospitals like Aga Khan, and we are doing internships in Aga Khan and Lumps Hospital. For that, we can understand how these devices can be made using R&D of Pakistan. But the thing is that the R&D of Pakistan is very weak as compared to international market. So it will be very difficult for Pakistani R&D to design such a device for brain acquisition. So we have to borrow that device from the US or any other country in which we have. Right now we are using a third-party software of MATLAB to interface our brain signals and processing for the brain signals. If we can design, or if we can use the software that can understand directly the brain thoughts, then it will be very good for us, because the software, for example, our intentions can be processed in the brain, can be processed in that software, and the activities can be performed in no time.